What's up, everyone? Happy Bloody Sunday. You know, Sunday is supposed to be, let me fix my, woke up this morning, a little depressed, looked at the charts, lost a lot of money on ETH trade. Figured, didn't want to do my hair. See this? No hair gel, nothing, just, it's hoodie season, man. It's hoodie season. All right, guys, welcome in. It's a special crypto and chill episode here at Sin City Crypto where we don't have anything planned. No news, no charts, nothing. We just go with the flow. Whatever you guys want to talk about, that's what we'll talk about. If you have any questions about me, the show, if you want any inside scoop on Robin, Rocco, I don't know. I don't have a lot of inside scoop on Rocco, although I do know he likes to eat his frappuccinos. If you want me to explain, I'll be more than happy to explain. But today it's kind of just it's a very community focused show. Whatever you guys want to talk about today, I am absolutely game, unless of course it's inappropriate and dumb and disrespectful. Then of course we won't talk about it. But while you guys are gathering yourselves, hopefully gathering your emotions, I don't know how many of you are traders, but this was a bloody morning. I know I was watching one of my favorite people to watch, Crypto Face. Man, he got crushed on an ETH trade. But you know what I respect about that man is he takes the punches. He takes the punches. He's like, yep, I got wrecked. On to the next one, and that's really what you got to do. So, Greg Nowak, what's up, buddy? Greg, hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. What's the best taco spot in Vegas? I love Tacos El Gordo. They have 3 locations, I believe. One is by Town Square. The other one's all the way on the very far end of the strip. Super ghetto. Wouldn't go there unless you're equipped with a knife, some knuckle, what are they called? Brass knuckles and maybe a gun or something. Other than that, wouldn't go down there, especially at night. But their stuff is bomb. They're like not they're fries. You can do carnitas fries or carne asada fries. Oh, it's so good. And then they're mullahs. Not money, moolah. It's bomb. So, yeah. All right. MINA said Bitcoin about to lose 80K. Crash will make content. You know, I go live on Sundays regardless, and we don't really talk about anything specific, but we can take a look at the markets. $80,100 for BTC. ETH is, oh man. So I got into a long on ETH last night, or I had a limit order set at 1759, and what I showed the Discord yesterday was, and I'll show you guys. Now this is what we saw. This is what at least I saw on the chart, and I was like, all right, this is a pretty very confident trade. Okay, so these are our high volume points on the daily for Ethereum, and this volume node here was the highest period across all time frames, and it was sitting at 1759. You can see every time price did get there, we had a really nice bounce. So we get down there again. I'm taking a long, which I did, got wrecked, closed that out for like a 52% L. Fine, we move forward. Got into this Tron long. It actually was working out fairly well. But I think we are down. Yeah, so this one's ugly. So the Tron trade, it was up like 13%. This one is about 17K, down 6.5%. But it was up like 13 this morning. And I was like, all right, it's playing out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. We had constricted bands on the 2-day and on market cipher B. On the higher time frame, we had our anchor, trigger wave, green dots, VWAP was crossing over the midline, and then we had the bears are losing steam, right? The momentum waves are getting smaller, right? Their peaks, or I should say their troughs, were getting a lot smaller. And so, all right, here we go. 12x leverage, stop loss at 22.98. It was printing. Also, we had this as well. We were getting bounced off of the top end of our cloud, Ichimoku cloud. And so to me, that was an easy long. Enter the long, was making money. This ETH is just dying. ETH is dying. You know, ETH was actually on the 1 minute at least prior to, it looked like we were getting some, this looks ugly too. This should have been a crossover. We didn't even get there. Then we got a red dot on top of it. And so, yeah, ETH not looking pretty. I mean, this thing, I mean, when we talk about, okay, where's ETH going next? I mean, let's look at, we're talking about quarterly levels. Okay, quarterly $1,642. If we lose, let me go to the 3-month chart. If we lose $1,642, and again, this is ETH on the quarterly. So the top end of our range was our Q3. No, this is, Q3 of 2023. This was our low, and then we rallied to essentially our cycle high so far. We almost got there on a wick in Q1 of this year, but didn't quite get there. And then now we are, oh God, ETH is falling hard. I'm gonna take the L here. I can't. Yeah. Okay. We took another L on an ETH trade. I'm waiting on ETH because this looks very, very ugly. What does BTC look like? So we lost the top end of our quarterly range. Guys, I'm sorry, but if the markets keep dumping, I know that it's like a crypto and chill show, but we might be looking at some numbers and charts here today. And so shout out to all of you here. Most leverage traders get wrecked in the final tally, admit it. Not necessarily, dude. I mean, if you have proper risk management, and you're playing with money that you're not like afraid to lose, if you know what you're doing, you'll make money. No, I'm not cold. My heart is cold because I lost some money this morning, but that's okay. Okay, we're getting a nice bounce on the 1 minute for ETH. Looks like potential V-shape recovery here. Again, this is on the super low time frame. We try to reclaim the top end of this range. This is a quarterly range, by the way. This is a quarterly range. Try to reclaim the top, and looks like we're getting there. Of course, isn't that funny? As soon as you close the trade, it starts moving your way. But for ETH, for me, we lost that 1759 level. I thought a dip under 1700, we were going to bounce right back. We were seeing data across the board, and that failed as well. And so I'm sitting on the sideline for ETH. I want to see where the bottom forms. Is the bottom going to be $1,622? Or are we going to attempt to reclaim the top end of this quarterly level and then fall below again? You see. And this is on the 1 minute time frame too on ETH. We're looking to give that up. We'll see if we can stay above 1642. About 1642.33. That'll be good, but still, to me, not worth the long. You look at market cipher B. Look at how deep these waves are going. And that money flow is just, I mean, it's about as deep as a, can't say what I want to say. We did get a bullish crossover on the VWAP though. So that's good. Green dot, that's also good. Expanding negative money flow, that's not good. We got RSI and stochastics pointing up. That's also good. But again, it's on the 1 minute. We keep zooming out or zooming in. Yeah, zooming out to the to maybe the 15 minute. This thing looks pretty damn ugly. But this, if we can get somewhere above like 1660, we can look back at this and say this is essentially a hammer candle, which signifies a reversal. But again, super low time frame. We can see the same on the 1 hour, but you see increasing volume on this move. This is a real move, guys. And obviously, you're like, yeah, well, the prices are falling, David. How is it not a real move? You'd be surprised how many times prices fall and you're like, the volume's not there. It's probably not a real move, but you're seeing increasing volume on the 1 hour, on the 2 hour. Volume's coming down a bit, but this candle has not closed. But either way, this dip we had, this was at 5 a.m. this morning, Pacific time. That volume spiked through to the 9 a.m. So about 4 hours, we saw volume spike there. But 1646 seems to be holding up. Let's go back to the 1 minute on ETH. Seem to get a little bit of a bounce. We need to, again, hold above 1642. But again, not confident enough to enter into a trade. I don't want to get back into old habits I used to have of trying to chase trades. And so that is something that I struggle with a lot, trading. And so try to break those bad habits. But either way, 1642, if we stay above, let's see what price does. I want to see a little bit of consolidation, kind of build that strong foundation at 1642. That way, if we do come back down, there's plenty of buyers there. We can actually throw on our price action concepts here from ALGO. Would have loved to see a liquidity grab here. Obviously, we didn't. On the 5-minute here, we did create a gap, fair value gap between 1658 and 1666. Don't like that number, 666. But we tapped our discount zone and we got a nice bounce. Let's check the 30-minute. Got a 30-minute gap between 1700 and 1716. We want this. We want price to close on, let's go to the 1 hour here. We want price to close around 1665. We can get that. We can look at this as a potential reversal candle. It would essentially be a hammer candle at the end of a big downturn. And then we look to fill these gaps. Again, on the 1 hour, that gap is between 1685 and 1717. We got one more gap between 1735 and 1757. We'll see. We want to see this volume start to come down, and especially on the lower time frames as well. And so, yeah. How's your guys' morning going so far? You guys excited? You making money? You losing money? What's going on, man? What's going on? So just kind of my thoughts. You know, the thumbnail had Trump and Jerome Powell on there, and it said bend the knee. There's a lot of like speculation going around. Is Trump doing it on purpose to get the Fed to lower interest rates? We know there's a few $1 trillion that needs to be refinanced in debt. And the 10-year is really where they're focused. And that 10-year was creeping up to 5%. We are now below 4%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's hundreds of billions of dollars. Not to mention the 10-year is what influences mortgage rates. And so if the 10-year comes down, debt refinancing for the U.S. government becomes cheaper. Mortgage rates come down. Maybe, just maybe, that's a lifeline to retail, because a lot of the people that bought homes, like, look at me personally, okay? I have equity in my home. I'm not going to say how much, but it's a decent amount. I can buy some Bitcoin with it, okay? I cannot refinance because I am sitting at a 3.265 interest rate that I got in 2020, which, by the way, is super lucky. Thank God. I mean, I can imagine if I would have waited another year. I am not going to cash out refi to get 7%, 6%. I'm not doing that. And so how many more people are stuck there on top of how many people bought at maybe a 7, 8% interest rate that are sitting there and just dying to refinance? If they can refinance down to 5 or 4.5%, that'll save them a ton of money on the monthly income or the monthly, their mortgage, their expense, but it could potentially put some money into their pockets. And so that would obviously be helpful to retail, because retail is struggling right now. And so will Jerome Powell bend the knee? We know there's already a credit crunch happening with the banks. Hedge funds, they're getting margin called. And if they don't put up the margin, you're going to see a bloody day tomorrow. But just remember, the bloody day we saw Friday, Bitcoin went up. If we see a bloody day tomorrow, will Bitcoin go up again? Or will Bitcoin follow the trend of the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow Jones? I don't know, because I don't have a magic 8-ball. But either way, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready to make some trades. I'm ready to add to my spot bag. I saw someone in here said they got Tau at sub $200. Who was it? Tree City West, $199 bit tensor. That might be best buy in a long time, man. Congrats to you, my friend. I love Tau. It's one of my biggest, I think it's one of my top 5 or top 3 biggest holdings. But I love Tau. And so you look across the board, if you got capital sitting on the sideline and you believe in our space, there are so many quality projects, and Bitcoin just lost 80K. Let's check. ETH dumping on the 1 hour. I'm sorry, guys. If I see the markets dump, well, we're just going to go to a chart. And so ETH dumping is 1629. Our discount zone still sits at around 1628. This is on the 1 minute. Let's look at market cipher B. This could be a potential inverse head and shoulders on our moment. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. So this is ETH 1 minute market cipher B. We could be coming into a potential head and shoulders pattern on market cipher B on the momentum oscillator. So there's your shoulder, our head, but we need this right shoulder not to go below our head. If it does, we could see a potential reversal and a push to the upside on market cipher B momentum oscillator. And so this is on the 1 minute. Take a look at ETH chart, seeing a decent bounce here. We did see a gap. So we have a double fair value gap here. You see the ETH gap down between, on the 1 minute, between 17.17 and 16. That's a big gap. That is a big gap, my friends. And if you guys look at crypto charts, you never see gaps in crypto charts. And so we're just falling, creating gaps that we eventually will fill to the upside, falling, creating gaps. And I want to see some bullish divergence here. Let's take a look at if we're getting it. Let's expand this pane out a little bit. Okay. So we are getting a little bit of bullish divergence. So here's your lower high, your lower low, your lower low. The same price action, here is your momentum wave, right? Low, and then a higher low. And so will this continue? Is this a reversal? The first gap to fill again is between 1643 and 1649. And by the way, this box, my friends, is a quarterly level, okay? This is a quarterly box. You go back. This is where we had our all-time high in Q1 of 2018. That is where we stopped, the low end of this box at around 1450. And if you look at the quarterly levels, and let me get rid of this. This was Q3 of 2023. We talked about this already, but just in case you guys just popped in here. This was Q3. We had a wick down in this region and an ETH rally to current local all-time highs. Well, cycle highs, I shouldn't say all-time highs. And then even going back to, this was Q2 of 2021. We got a wick down here, exploded. Same thing in Q3 of 2021. We tested the top end of our quarterly box here, and we got a positive reaction. So now this is where ETH is. Okay, this is a quarterly time frame. But if we keep these levels and we zoom into the 1 minute, we are trading above. Or excuse me, we aren't trading below. We are in the zone. And so curious to see what ETH does here. Just, man, we get a little bit of a spike and then just a dump. Again, creating lower lows. But we want to see a higher low come in, which looks like we're getting here. And we can zoom into maybe the 10-minute chart on ETH. Green dots flashing everywhere here. Green dot. But this is why, and this is nothing against market cipher B. It's really just any indicator. You don't just use one indicator and when something flashes, you enter, because you will lose money. Because if you entered here, would have lost money. You entered here, definitely would have lost money. You enter here, we don't know yet, but you're probably going to lose money. We see increasing volume on these dumps for Ethereum. Let's take a look at BTC. BTC under $70,000. This chart doesn't look any sexier. My God. Yeah, this trend is not slowing down anytime soon. We want to see these Heikin-Ashi candles get some wicks to the upside, and then we start talking about a trend that is starting to lose momentum. We look at the momentum oscillator. We are setting lower lows on the momentum oscillator on the 10 minute, on the 1 minute. Looks like that we are losing a little bit of steam here. As you can see, the candles go from no wicks to the upside to some wicks to the upside. We want to see that thing flip green. Go back to our regular candles. Again, this is on the 1 minute. Market cipher B, looks like money flow is shrinking to the upside, which is good. We did get a crossover on our VWAP. That's also very good. And we're losing, the bears are kind of losing steam here. And you can see that range is starting to get a little tighter. We throw on this, lots of gaps for BTC. The first one sits at 79.9 to 80,000 flat. I expect that to get filled. Honestly, if you're going long, if you're trying to catch like a generational long trade, I don't know what that entry is for you. Like, I'm not going to give an entry here because I want to kind of do my own thing with the TA and kind of look at it, more, a little deeper. I would be hesitant to do it in anything outside of Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, but Ethereum needs to show some strength here. BTC looks like 79,673 is a good level to maybe put in a quick scalp long trade. If you're looking, as we can see, we got a wick here, didn't get a close, got a wick, and then a close, an immediate. This is actually a bearish harami candle here, actually. And so that's just a little bit of price action. We take a look at liquidations. $210 million has been absolutely liquidated in the crypto markets over the last 1 hour. And you guessed it, my friends. I bet you that number is like 95%. 95% of those have been longs, but you obviously knew that. And so I am curious. Again, I'll keep my eye on the charts. What are you guys' thoughts on the market here, man? What are you guys' thoughts on the market? Oh, yeah. ES said Bitcoin under 80K. Rob was wrong. Rob is never wrong, man. Come on, bro. Rob is never wrong. The guy rolled so many sevens at the casino. I'm kidding, of course. You know, I've always said, you know, and you guys watch the morning show. Guys know I said I'm 60-40 more downside. And I have continuously said that. When Bitcoin rallied to 87K, I still said I'm 60-40. We get one more washout to 71K, and we can look at that level, and that is a key level for BTC. And we are going to, let's go here. I think these were quarterly levels I was looking at for Bitcoin. On the daily, let's take a peek here. And so I had this symmetrical triangle here, obviously, that broke to the downside. We were kind of ranging in our equilibrium zone. But when BTC got down to 77.8, we had a nice big liquidity grab, as you can see, where it's bordered on that wick. From wick to swing high, we had a 14% rally. And so can we get the same thing? Might be worth a long here at around 77.3 to 77.6. But these are, what do I have? Quarterly levels here. And it starts at 76.380. But the region I am more enamored with, that's not even the right word. What is the right word? That I'm like, not concerned, but I'm like laser focused on is $71,000. 71K, resistance, resistance, resistance. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rejections in a span of 9 months before we massively rallied. That should be an extremely strong support level for BTC listed on our high volume points. We got one coming in at 76.7, where you had around 61,000 Bitcoin that was bought by the bulls. So that is one area to keep an eye on. Again, that's also where we had our liquidity grab, if you guys remember, on the lower time frame. And then the next one that we see on buyers is down at 58K. I'm not saying we're going to 58K, but that's something to keep an eye on. We go to the 12-hour. Take a look. Now on the 12-hour, though, 66.87, we had around 46K Bitcoin that was bought. That pushed the price up. That was the beginning of our massive rally. And so we can exclude that, right? But on the daily, looking to catch support here at $77,000. If not, if we enter into the zone, look for 72.9. If that fails, 71.3 should be it. 71.3, to me, should be the bottom for BTC. Then I think we rally up, but you never know at the end of the day. A lot of uncertainty in the markets, the stock market, the hedge funds, the big money players. They don't like what Trump is doing. And so, sorry. Let's take a look. Will Jerome Powell bend the knee? This is the CME. By the way, you guys want some music? Check this out. So you guys know, Rob is our engineer in the studio. The guy is our tech guy. Every setup, everything you see, visual, graphics, setup, it's him and the people he's working with. And so I was like, look, I'm going to try to get some music into my streaming software. And I was like, I'm going to try not to ask Rob for his help. And I did it. And I think you guys should hear some music coming in. Let's take a listen. See if it's too loud. Yeah. You guys, let me know. You guys want the music, or you want the music on or off? Let me know. I will abide by the results of this poll. You know what? With that being said, let's actually start a poll here. All right, I did a poll. Please, you know what? Actually, give me a second, guys. Let me adjust myself here. I'm committing, bro. Let's go. I'm committing. All right. Make sure you submit your vote there on the music on or music off. Sounds weird. Does that mean does that music sound weird? All right, let's check the audio settings. Oh yeah, we're getting double. I don't know. I feel like we're getting. I think we're getting. Are you guys hearing double music here? Let me know. We'll see. All right. Looks like a majority of you want this thing to stay on. So for you, I will, weird. Yeah, weird music, right? It sounds like it's double. It shouldn't sound like this unless someone put a weird soundtrack in here that I didn't approve. Yeah, this is very strange. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute the music, and I'm going to let that song go through because I got it on loop. I'm going to mute the music. I'm going to let that song go through. And then if I check back and it's still the same, then we know it's some BS. But anyways. All right. Anyways, I forget the question I was at. What do you guys, how are you guys feeling, man? You guys nervous? You excited? You got money on the side to buy the dip? Let me know. Also, what do you guys want to talk about today? You guys want to talk about the markets? I know the markets are kind of dumping. I did kind of talk about Jerome Powell here and the CME. What are they expecting? That number, 30% believe we're going to get at least a 25 basis point rate cut. And the next meeting is April 29th. So the end of this month, we'll get more numbers. We'll get the jobs report. We'll get the unemployment data. And we should get the first iteration of the final Q1 GDP numbers. We've seen the speculation. We've seen the forecasts. We don't have the numbers just yet. And of course, the first number that comes out, it's just a estimate, and then they'll revise it 2-3 more times, and you'll get the final one in like Q3. Such an outdated, broken system. And so that comes in. We're expecting negative. But to me, you know, like, by the way, if you guys are into like macroeconomics and the Fed and central banking, this book is a must, dude. This guy, Joseph Wang, used to work at the Fed, the New York Fed, Central Banking 101. It's an easy read. It doesn't have a lot of technical jargon. It's very, very interesting. And to those of you that want to understand how the Fed works a little more, I would highly recommend you go buy that book. It's, even if you don't enjoy reading, it's a really, really good read. I rarely finish books because I can tune out in the first, 10 pages. But that is an amazing book. And so read it. But the Fed, treasury rates are coming down. Now, the only thing I will say with the Fed, will Jerome Powell bend the knee, is inflation. Everyone is expecting inflation to go up because of the tariffs, right? So if inflation goes up, Jerome Powell really, can he cut rates? I don't know, right? Rate cutting, making borrowing cheaper, QE, that raises inflation. And if you already have inflation from the tariffs, which I'm not saying you're going to have, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I got a PhD in macroeconomics. I don't. I studied it in college, but I don't have a PhD. I don't even have a degree. But I understand it more than the majority of people do. And so I don't know if we're going to get inflation from tariffs or not. You know what I'd recommend, actually, all of you do? Tucker Carlson sat down and did an interview with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. And I would highly recommend you guys go watch. It's an hour long. This one right here. And he talks about inflation with tariffs. He broke the numbers down, and he kind of did a case study. Well, he shared the case study on the podcast interview with Tucker Carlson, and he pretty much said back in 2018 when Trump put 20% tariffs on China, the U.S. consumer only saw a 0.4% increase in the price of their goods. He kind of referenced when we put tariffs in, it makes a dollar stronger, it makes our purchasing power more, and it weakens the other country's currency, and Bitcoin is dropping. Let's look at the 1 minute on BTC. Go away. You go away, you go away. We want a clean chart here. Want the cleanest chart ever. 79.24 BTC. We talked about 77.6. Let's look at market cipher B on BTC. You see these momentum waves are expanding to the downside. We were about to get a crossover on the VWAP, but maybe we will. Maybe it'll go the opposite way. I don't know. But I mean, look at that money flow expansion to the downside, of course. That's a pretty deep money flow, negative money flow expansion. This is the deepest we've been since the end of March on the lower time frames. Zoom into maybe the higher time frames. March, at least on the lower time frames. I guess it looks a lot worse than it is. I mean, since 45 minutes ago, we haven't seen this lower time frame. But RSI and stochastics were, yeah. ETH is, or BTC at least. BTC, we'll see. We're getting a little bit of a bounce here at 79.1. I mean, that's like a dump, bro. That's like a roller coaster. You guys remember that, what was it? The David and Goliath roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California? That was, what is this? 4% drop in 3 hours and 30 minutes. It's a big drop. That's on the, let's do creating the gaps on the way down. Yeah. Lots of gaps. Look at all these red gaps. Look at all these red gaps that we are going to fill. And when we fill them, we should see a boost to the upside. But you see these order blocks. I mean, the sellers have the buyers by in most cases more than 3-to-1. You got 3-to-1 here, 3-to-1 here. This is less than 2-to-1. You got like 10-to-1 here. And the last one we saw an order block that really had more buyers than sellers, but price went down anyways, was between 81.4 and 81.5. And so 79K flat. Looks like we're about to lose $79,000, dipping into the 78, 79 flat. And there we go, sub 79K and dropping. Let's take a peek. ETH is dropping too. My God, ETH is getting crushed. Good thing we closed that trade, huh? ETH is dying, is almost dead, but it's going to resurrect. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, VWAP getting deeper to the downside, which is obviously not good. Money flow is it's not showing any signs of slowing down to the downside. Another gap was created above 1619. And just lower highs, man. Where is ETH going to stop? Where is Ethereum going to stop? We're already in our discount zone. We can actually, let's look at yearly numbers. So these are our yearly numbers here, okay? 1450. And I'm not saying we're getting down to 1450, but that would be like a surefire. Hey, let me go ahead and long ETH here. Taking a look at volume. You see an increasing volume on the dips. Man, forget about this zone. Forget about that zone. Let's close that one. I mean, honestly, like all the daily levels and the zones that I have mapped out for ETH, we've given all of them up. And we try to reclaim this one here between 2100 and 2270. Failed. We have some lows. So this was our low back on October of 2023. This was where ETH consolidated, right? And then the massive rally started here, right? Right here. ETH rallied from 1545 up to 4100. So we're talking about a 1.5 year low that we are about to hit on ETH. We should get a bounce here. If we get that low, which it looks like we are. Let's look at liquidations. $204 million in the last 1 hour. Multiply that by 24. That's what we're on pace for the entire day. 213 million now. Let's take a look at our liquidation heat map. Let's go 12 hour. This is on ETH. Got around, what is this? 9 million liquidations sitting at 1603. I mean, just look at how we just cave. We caved here at what was it? 1621. Fell completely through. And the next level, although not quite as much, you had 18 million there. You have about 9 million here. And then 1573 for ETH as far as liquidations. This is from Bybit. We can look at Binance. We just lost one at 1608. So you're getting a little bit of a rebound. That's good. And then you have another around 5 million at 1592. So sub $1,600 for Ethereum. And go back to the 1 minute chart. Let's pull our handy dandy market cipher B here. Yeah, it was looking good. It was looking good, right? You guys see it? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then just took a dump. Took a dump. You dumped on us. Let's take a peek at market cipher A. Oh, whale manipulation. That's your yellow X's. I mean, ETH is getting punished every time it attempts a rally. Every time it attempts a rally, we see a decent spike in volume, and then it's just dumpage, 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 dumpage. I'm going to pull up a Bitcoin chart. I'm curious, how many of you, this is your first cycle? If it's your first cycle, put a 1 in the chat. If it's not your first cycle, put a 2 in the chat. So number 1, if this is your first cycle. 2, if it is not your first cycle, we're getting a nice bounce on the RSI and the stochastic oscillator here. We did get a crossover on our VWAP on the 1 minute. Let's look at the 5 minute. 5 minute, we're not quite there yet. Still below our 0 line, but you can see here just strong momentum to the downside. This is with Heikin-Ashi candles. This has been a strong downtrend since about an hour and a half ago. Just slopes down. Just slopes down. 78,862 for BTC. Look at some Bitcoin levels. Liquidation levels. Let's go Bybit, because that's where a lot of traders are. So we're currently we're 78.7, around $21 million. 78,337, you have another 18. And then really nothing. Really nothing. At least from Bybit on the 12 hour. We can zoom out to maybe the weekly. Yeah. 78.2, 21 mil. 13 mil at 77.5. And then that's it. I mean, it's like, how much more down can it go, right? How much more bleeding could there possibly be for ETH? So yeah, shout out to all of you that are here. Welcome in. This is not my normal show. Normally on Sundays, I do like a crypto and chill. We kind of chat, but the markets are dumping. I figured you guys want to know what the F is going on with BTC, with altcoins. Please, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, ping your notification bell on, because just like today, I didn't tell our community when we were going live till 20 minutes before. And so you'll only know if you're subbed and have a notification bell on. What do you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you'd like me to go over, anything you'd like me to give my thoughts on? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you scared? Don't be afraid to share. It's okay. Pissed I closed my ETH short at 1,800. Yeah, it's okay, my friend. On to the next one. Eyeball. Not sure if he's spamming because he's excited, but he said buying opportunities. I like it. Okay, I'm looking. There's quite a few of you that this is your first cycle. Ben, Vikey, Put On Mascara, Ushan, Parker, Cliff, G Crypto, first cycle, James, Najib, the Prognosis, first cycle. Well, let me tell you guys something. You know, when you work out a lot, you get those calluses on your hands, right? The first few times they kind of hurt. And then like the next, like the 150 times you go, like, it doesn't hurt anymore. Because the skin kind of like, it heals itself and it goes over the callus. And then it eventually becomes this hard thing that you got to try to like grind off with one of those microplanes. If you're in the restaurant industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's, this is my actually, so I bought my first crypto in 2016. This is, but it wasn't like, I wasn't like into crypto, right? It was like my first buy. That was my introduction. I bought Bitcoin. When I really started heavily investing, a lot of my wealth was in the 2020 to 2021 cycle. 2018, I was deploying a little bit of capital. I started really learning. And then I don't ever put a lot of my wealth, that's my family's future, my kids' future, into something I don't know everything about, or at least everything that I want to know about. And so that happened in 2021. It gave me about 3 years of runway to really learn the space, understand what's going on, understand what it's going to be used for, try to look forward 10, 20 years and say, okay, what can I put money in now? It's going to pay off 10 to 20 years from now that I can hand over my kids to start a business or go to college or whatever else they want to do. And so, yeah, that's kind of my thing. And so what I'm trying to get at is what we're seeing in price action now. Bitcoin dropping to 79.1, and I'll put this on here. Let's get rid of the Heikinashi. A little bit of a bounce on the 5 minute. Looks like coming into a bear flag on the 1 minute for BTC. Big spike in volume here on the move up, but we're losing that as well. You can see here, just a big, there's your pull, there's your flag. Should break to the downside. Where, I don't know, but we can look at some levels here for BTC. Now the immediate one, and we can actually, let's throw this on. Let's see what that tells us. Support resistance. So we have a daily SNR sitting at 76.6. Let's go to the 10 minute. See what the 10 minute gives us. Not the 10 minute, 30 minute. See what the 30 minute gives us. Give a little bit of time to load. Also, I want to know, is this your first time checking out Sensitive Crypto? I'm also very curious for that as well. How many new people we get in here? 78.9. So we're getting a little bit of a bounce. Waiting for these SR levels to come out. We can always draw our own, but I'd like to see what the algorithm is telling us. Here we go. Okay, so we have some 2-hour support at 78.197. And we can actually, we can drop a horizontal here. We can drop a horizontal there, and let's do that. Let's get rid of that. Let's zoom into maybe the 4-hour. And let's see, actually, let's zoom into the 12-hour, the half day. And let's see what price is done at these levels, okay? So we're looking at 78.2. Perfect wick, big bounce, okay? This was back on February 27th. We saw when I say perfect wick, right? Look at this. I can zoom into infinity, right? Perfect wick, okay? Perfect wick here for BTC. At 78.2. And so that was back on the 27th of February. What did price do? Well, price rallied from wick to wick 22%. Where else did we see price come down? Now this wick below to around 76.2, well, we got to close right at $78,200. Low to high, 11% rally. Are we going to see something similar here? We can take a look at this drop we had, okay? So this drop leading into that wick bounce we saw for BTC. Again, it's on the 12-hour. This was there we go. This is a 21% drop from our high at 99K down to that low of 78.2, okay? And as you can see, what did volume do? As the price was declining, volume was rising. And so this move was a real move. And so this would have been a great place to short after losing this swing low here at around 93.1. Break to the downside, and then the markets rally. What are we seeing now? And you can really look at, well, when did Bitcoin kind of start consolidating here? And where are we at now? We're at around 11% from our March 24th, 88.86 high. Okay, this is on the 12-hour chart as well. And what are we seeing with BTC? We're kind of seeing erratic volume. We're seeing some of the moves get increasing volume. Some of the moves get decreasing volume. But again, 78,200. And looks like we're already getting a little bit of a bounce off of the wick low so far, which is 78,669. But I'd be interested in a long here at 78.2. In fact, we are going to go in here and we're going to put in a BTC limit long trade. We're going to go lower leverage because the markets are kind of crazy. We make less profit, or we have to put up more money to make more profit, but that's okay. We try not to get, remember, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. 78,206. We're going to do 25 hundo, good to cancel, limit order, 8x isolated, long. And here is our open order that we're hoping to get filled. Now it might not get filled, but we want it to get filled because we want to make some money. But you're already seeing a strong bounce. This is on the 12-hour. Let's see what we're seeing on the lower time frames for market cipher B. Look at that momentum expansion, guys. My God. Okay. Last time we came this low on the momentum wave. Let's give this a mark here, okay? Let's zoom out and let's give this a mark here. Let's see what price did after we hit that low, okay? So this was our momentum oscillator got destroyed. And what did price action do? Let's take a look at what price action did. We saw an immediate bounce. And that bounce was from wick to wick, around 2%. So not really anything. Then we saw another dump. And then we kind of started chopping. We had this nice W pattern coming in here that kind of took us to that 83.9 level. And what I'm talking about is here. You come in, you make a low, come back, make a lower low, and then you're off to the races. One more pullback, and then you kind of chop sideways. So this would have been a great entry on that second, on a bullish W pattern here for BTC. That's pretty low. So you had your anchor and your trigger wave. And I always like to see what price did prior. This was a false signal too, by the way. Your anchor trigger wave, this ended up being a false signal. We had more dump to the downside. And this is on the 1 hour time frame for BTC. Let's get rid of that. Let me check in on my music. Let's see if it still sounds weird. Oh, wow, sounds fine. Maybe it was the music. Sounds like it was the music. All right. I know 59% of you said music off, but that was when the music was pretty shitty. So let's see. I think this sounds good. Let me know if the volume's too high or too low for you guys, and I can always adjust it. But a little something in the background, you know, jamming out, baby. Make ourselves feel good. Let's go. Oh, man. If you guys can only see me when the cameras are off, I am such a goofball. It's not even funny. All right. Liquidation levels on BTC. Let's look on the 12-hour. We already checked Bybit. Let's go ahead and check Binance. So we have around 21 million coming in. We got a bounce there at 78.5. 28 million at 78.5. And then right below it, you got another. We'll round it up. We'll round it up to 20 million at 78.3. Liquidation levels for BTC. This is Bitcoin, USDT perpetual on Binance. So we should see a bounce there. Let's take a peek at Ethereum. We did get this continuation signal on market cipher A on a already moved to the upside. This is on the 1 minute. We can zoom into maybe the 15 minute. What are we seeing on the 15? Nothing on the 15. These right here, though, bears are losing momentum. Bears are losing momentum. Let's take a look at this. We're still seeing an expansion of the negative money supply, the negative money flow, but we are getting a lot of green dot signals, and you saw a bounce for the RSI and the stochastics. But this right here, when you're seeing here, bears are losing steam. You had essentially this inverted hammer candle here. You had this spinning top here, and now you have another inverted hammer. And so we should see ETH bounce here. That low was, we tapped 1600 almost exactly. I think we did tap 1600 exactly and some change for ETH. Market side for A though, showing some whale manipulation, at least on the 15 minute, on the 1 hour. We're seeing anything here. So this could end up being a really, really nice V-shaped recovery for ETH. But again, that remains to be seen. Let's take a look at our MA ribbon that sits right above $1,811. And you know, the 200 MA ribbon on the 1 hour, you just see, we just could not reclaim it. Got a blood diamond here on the, got that blood diamond at 1818. What would that short have looked like? 11%? 11% short times your leverage. Some of you degenerates are leverage trading on 20x, which I'm referring to me, of course, because I actually had a 20x leverage trade. So ETH, let's take a look at the rest of the markets. Is anything holding up better than we expected? Let's take a peek at that, okay? ETH not holding up better than I expected. XRP holding up better than not just what I expected. I think what a lot of people expected. XRP, the buy zone for XRP, for me at least, is $1.97. $1.97 every single time we have come down here. And I think actually, let me clean up the chart here a little bit. Let's get rid of that. Market side for B, I love you, but I gotta hide you from the fam for a second. Let's go in here. Let's hide this. And let's throw, oh, I don't have my long-term leverage. It's okay, we can work it out now. So I was looking at, okay, so for me, XRP, you had your, this was a, what was this? This was a Q2 of 2021 high for XRP. We'll drop a horizontal right here. And that, my friends, is $1.97. $1.97. That was also our open for Q1 of 2018 and obviously the close of Q4 of 2017. Key level here. And we already got a bounce off a wick here for XRP. This is again on the quarterly. We can zoom into maybe the weekly. Lots of bounces at $1.97. You got a bounce here the week of December 9th. The week of December 16th, the week of December 30th. So all December, if you just would have entered long positions at $1.96, you would have made money, depending on if you took profit and closed it at the right time. Now this wick here, this was the week of February 3rd. We did get to a wick low of around $1.76, but the week of February 24th, bounce. The week of March 10th, bounce. And now the week of March 31st, which is this current week, ending in less than 5 hours, we should get a bounce. In fact, I am going to open a long on XRP. I'm going to open a long on XRP. You know, these high time frame levels failed us on Ethereum. And normally, you know, maybe 5 years ago when I first started trading, I would have been like, you know, I'm just going to not trade in the markets. I lost a lot of money. But I have kind of rewired my brain to, all right, you lost a trade, on to the next one, and to not chase. Let's go. Start market $1.98. Do we want to wait for? No, we don't want to wait for the perfect entry. We want to get just a little greedy here. Okay, we're gonna do 1500. Long XRP 10x isolated, bada bing. That's crazy. I used to say bada bing, bada boom a lot, and then I started watching Frankie Candles, and he says it a lot, and I don't want to say it because that's his thing, and I don't want people to call me out and say, you're jocking the guy's style, you're taking whatever. So anyways, I'm checking in here real quick. I asked you guys how CJM said, this is just a soundtrack for losing money. Come on, bro. Don't say that, man. Just trying to have a little fun here, my dude. Okay. XRP, best support ever. That was from Rednecks. Rednecks. Interesting name. Yo, what happened to the market? Bruce, welcome in. The markets are dumping. That's what happened to the markets. Higher high on the 1 minute. Yeah. Just saying, perfect setup for a nation state buy-in. Yeah. I mean, that and that is such a good point. Who said that so I can give you your props? Of course I lost it. Who said that? Oh, right here. Crypto Otaku said perfect setup for a nation state buy-in. Now imagine this, okay? Let me turn this music off, okay? Imagine this. Imagine you have the United States government, and here I can talk through this and just have a BTC chart up here on the 1 minute. So the trading fiends are rewarded. So imagine this. You have a, I don't know, what's the correction on Bitcoin from its all-time high? It's got to be what? 30%, right? Which, by the way, I said there was not going to be these kind of dips during a bull market, and I was completely wrong, and it's okay to be wrong, especially if you're Robin. Let's see here. So from 109 to, yeah, about almost 30%. So around 27% drawdown. Now you got the United States government that has created a strategic Bitcoin reserve that have come out and said, we want to find budget neutral ways until we get a bill passed. We want budget neutral ways to buy Bitcoin. Like, okay, Bitcoin's 30% off. We probably should buy some now. Great. China, we were talking about starting to buy Bitcoin. Mr. Xi Jinping, Bitcoin is down 30%. Might be a good time to enter. You have El Salvador, you have Argentina, you have a bunch of other countries that are looking to keep up with the financial superpower of the world, which is the United States of America. And here you have the asset that is 30% off, and the people that understand markets and understand value investing look at Bitcoin at 109,000 the same way they look at Bitcoin, if not with bigger eyes, at 79,000, at 76,000, at 71,000, at 50,000, at 10,000. Maybe not at sub 10,000, because at that point, something probably collapsed, the miners died, or I don't know what happened. But either way, that is the thought process of the most successful traders and investors in the world. Is I have an asset that nothing has changed from when the price was 30% higher. Why would I not go in to the store, find my favorite cereal at 30% off and buy it? If the ingredients haven't changed and nothing has changed and my eating habits haven't changed, why would I not buy the same thing I valued at $110,000 at $79,000? And that's the difference between the people that become wealthy and make a lot of money and change their lives and the people that end up staying broke. Is the people that end up staying broke, they run away from opportunities because they let the emotions get the best of them. And I used to be one of those people. I get it. I used to be one of those people. You see something doesn't go your way, you're scared. You're like, you know what? It's more convenient and easier to delete all my apps, to delete Coinbase, to delete my portfolio tracker, to throw my phone away, not even look at my portfolio. Instead, what I should be doing is being excited to see what is going on. Where am I finding opportunities to make some damn money? People don't do that, though. They run away. Fight or flight. You stay, you fight, you dig into the charts, the fundamentals, the analysis, all of it. And you find opportunities, and with potentially a inverse head and shoulders here on the 1 minute for BTC. Or do you run away, go back to your job, go back to being fucking miserable, and then come back and say, wait, how did you get so wealthy? What did you do to make all your money? Oh, you just got lucky, dude. He just bought Bitcoin at 79,000 and he got lucky. It went to 300K. No, he didn't get lucky. He just wasn't a little, you know the word I'm looking for. God forgive me. I know today's your day. I'm just very Very passionate. I love this space. I love what the idea of Bitcoin and crypto stand for. And I know some bad actors have hijacked some parts of our space. There's nothing we can do about that. But I am very passionate. And the reason I got in and started buying a lot of Bitcoin is very personal to me. And I don't want to share that now. Maybe I'll share it in another stream. But I'm very passionate about this space. I love the space. I love not all the projects. I love a majority of the projects that are building things that are going to make my life easier. They're going to make your life easier. It's going to make it more affordable. It's going to make my kids' life better and easier. Bitcoin's one of them. Avalanche is one of them. Ethereum is one of them. Cardano is one of them. And I can go on and on. And so for me, this is my livelihood, man. I have put every single dime of my extra money into the studio, into this podcast, into everything, into my portfolio. And so I'm all in. I am all in crypto. I've made mistakes. I've rectified those mistakes. I've had to go out and pick up extra shifts in my job to make money. I've done that. And I will continue to do that. And I'm willing to do that because I understand that if I am patient, it'll pay off for me in the long run, but not just for me, for my kids. It's one thing I learned from my dad. He always say, everything I do, my son, is for you guys, for my kids. And I feel the same way. If you don't have kids, then what's your why? Is it you? Is it your mom? Is it your sister, your brother, your niece, your nephew? Is it your church? Is it, I don't know. What's your why? And then put that dead set in front of you on your phone as a screensaver or something. And every time you sit there and you start to question yourself and you start to say, am I making the right decision or I want to quit? Just look at that name, that number, that piece of paper, that thing on your phone and let that thing drive you, man. With that being said, Bitcoin, nice bounce here. Nice W pattern here as well on BTC. And so we were looking for a potential inverse head and shoulders on the 1 minute. We didn't quite get that. Look at this bounce. We like that bounce. Oh, God damn it. Sorry, guys. I forgot to change my camera here. Really, really nice bounce here for BTC with volume. Let's take a look at market cipher B. Green dot, green dot. VWAP is expanding to the upside, which is good. So there is momentum with this move, my friends. We can even zoom into the 1 hour. What is the 1 hour telling us? 1 hour is telling us that the momentum waves are about to go off the charts, literally. But you see our VWAP is about to, well, it's heading towards the zero line. We got a crossover. That would be bullish on the 1 hour. You see a bounce from RSI and stochastic. That turned green, which is good. 79.7. And so again, this level we mocked out. We didn't quite get it yet. And I think, and our XRP trade is printing. Let's go. 170 bucks. What's 170 bucks? Well, oh, that's my kid's, well, it's a little less. My kid's monthly dues for his club soccer. So I can close this trade out now. Or it's a new, I know Rob was looking at the mic arms. The dual mic arms, because we bought furniture for the sets in the back. Dude, it's going to look sick. I think it was like 170 bucks. Oh, damn it. Now it's 157. So it might be that. But I think XRP can run. I really do. Let's take a look at an XRP chart. Bounce off $1.98. That was good. So if you guys got into that trade, congratulations. If you're happy with your profits, by the way, if you're happy with your profits, take profits. Even if your target was X, if you all of a sudden see that you're up 200 bucks and you're like, damn, you know what? That'll cover my groceries for the next 2 weeks. Bro, take that shit. Take that shit, cash it in, go buy your groceries, man. Or if that's your date night with your wife or your husband, take it, run with it, take the profits, right? No one went broke taking profits. We look at the liquidation heat map here, 193 million has been liquidated over the last 1 hour. Let's see the 1 hour. Oh, we were at 94. Now we're at 90. And so bears are starting to lose a little money too, which is good. Could we see a really, really nice squeeze to the upside? 80K is going to be a big level here, my friends. Let me drop a horizontal on 80. Horizontal on 80. Big psychological number. Let's throw on our VRVP. No volume really at 80. You don't get a big volume until about 81.9. right? Call it 82K, which 82.1 is, or 82.5 has been a level that I've kind of had my eye on. Let's look at the cloud. Too far down. Let's see if we flip the cloud on any of the lower time frames. We should have. 10-minute no, 15-minute no, 3-minute no, 5-minute no. Okay, we reclaimed the cloud on the 1 minute. It doesn't really mean much. Another W pattern here. Oh, this is more of an M pattern, I guess. It's more of an M pattern. But we reclaimed the cloud on the our Kumo cloud on the 1 minute here for BTC. They get a red dot on market cipher B. We're seeing RSI starting to come back down. And we got a bearish crossover on the VWAP, crossing below downside. So at least on the 1 minute, we want to see, and we lost it. It's like that meme, and it's gone. This is funny. This is really funny. All right. All right. Okay, guys. I think the big dip might be over. I really do. I think the big dip might be over. I'm just gonna check in on the community here, my homies, my people. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Anything, any concerns, anything you want to talk about? Just let me know, man. I didn't have anything planned for today. Ended up being a trading show. All fine. They're hijacked all of the space, sir. No idea what you're talking about. TRX holding up pretty mel. What's the story? AM, I am so happy you asked that question, brother. I have said multiple times, Tron and BNB are the hedges against a bear market. And a lot of it has to do with the centralized control of a lot of the tokens of Tron, TRX, and BNB token. And so that's really it, bro. In my opinion, I might be wrong. I don't know. But Tron, it also doesn't have those violent moves, but it's pretty safe. And I'm actually still in that Tron long trade. Went from up like 12% to down 14%. But I think I have my stop loss at 22.98 cents. So I feel pretty good. We get stopped out. Cool. We'll take the L, move on. If we don't, we'll make some money. We're already making money on an XRP trade. So shout out to all of you that came in. By the way, we do have a VVIP trading group here on our Discord. All you got to do is use our link to sign up for Buy DeFi and deposit $100 of your own money to trade for yourself. That's it. Put your UID and you'll be entered in. You'll get VIP chat access. You'll get our trade setups. You'll get also swing and scalp signals from the best traders on Buy DeFi platform, and then market analysis and updates as well, along with support. So if you're a trader, a lot of influencers, and hey, they want to do it. That's their thing. They charge money for stuff like this. But we're not charging money. We just want you to use our link because we do get a kickback from Buy DeFi. So we'd rather take the money from the exchange than from you guys and use that $100 of your own money to trade and maybe turn 100 into 10K. I don't know. I've done it before. You can do it. You're disciplined. And so if you haven't done that, make sure to go do it. And there is a link in the description of the video. I will actually go ahead and drop the Discord link here. And my wife is home yelling because I'm assuming the kids made a damn mess downstairs. Children, you made a mess. Clean it up. Stupid. All right. Tron underrated. All the hate for Justin is getting old. You know, Flatsmack, some of it's on him, bro. Some of it's on him. I got no ill will towards Justin's son. If I met him in person, I'd probably say hi. I'd be excited to meet him. But yeah, I think some of it is his own fault. Just like some of the stuff that happens to me at home, sorry, babe, is my fault. And I take full, I don't get the word I'm looking for. Okay, XRP. Okay, let's take one more look at the markets. BTC lost the cloud. that lasted long. Let's get rid of the Ichimoku. See if we see any patterns unfolding here. A little bit of a. This is on the 3 minute, by the way. That bear flag is still playing out on the 3 minute. Right there. How much higher can we go? Do we tap out at around 80K and then we see that break there, right? And we come back down, maybe get a retest and then fall through, catch some support at around 78.2, which I'd be extremely happy to enter into a long there. And you guys know we do have our limit order there for BTC for that long. Let's get rid of you. We don't like you. I mean, we're seeing we're seeing increasing volume on the lower time frames on the reversal, but let's see. Let's take a look at market cipher B here for BTC. Okay, looks like we're curving up on the money flow. Good. Looks like we're about to get a crossover on the 30-minute on the VWAP. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Crossover here. We want a crossover. We get a crossover. We see some momentum to the upside, which would be great, but nothing is guaranteed. So we'll see what happens. Let's get rid of that. So yeah, 78.2 guys. That is where I have a limit order for BTC. If not, the last, I think it was a weekly low. Yeah, right here. If we fail 78.22, I feel very confident. And let's see. We do have a gap, and that would fill, maybe we get down to 73.6. That'll fill that would fill the entirety of this gap. We filled it about halfway on this weekly wick. This is back the week of March 10th. We filled it half of this gap. Do we fill the rest of the gap? Potentially. We did have a large liquidity grab here at 73.5, which is the bottom end of our range. So here is my plan for BTC. Now, of course, this can change depending on news factors. Is Trump going to put reciprocal tariffs on top of reciprocal tariffs that they have reciprocated for the other reciprocating country? I don't know. But with the information I have now on the chart, 78.2, I'm entering into a long. If we go deeper, I'll put another long in at 76.7. And if we lose that, I am going mega long at 73.6. That's my plan for BTC. Also, my plan for today, hang out with my family. Told my son, my boys, take him to the park, play some basketball with them. You know, it's funny. I used to play a lot of basketball. There's this Armenian league called Homenetment, and they had a Vegas chapter, and I played. Dude, I love playing basketball. It was so much fun. Good cardio. And I was playing basketball with my kids, and I nailed like 4 threes in a row. And my 12-year-old looks at me, he's like, "You played basketball?" I was like, kind of, not really. He's like, "Wow, Dad, did you try to go to the NBA?" I'm like, "Hell no, bro. I wasn't that good. I sucked." Anyways, I'm going to spend some time with the fam. I'll leave you guys with this. Again, very simple, okay? I give you permission to panic if your portfolio is made up of projects that have lost their fundamentals. If your portfolio is made up of those projects that all of a sudden avalanche validators are leaving, users are leaving, they pivot away from RWA and gaming and they pivot into some dumb like metaverse, then fine. You can panic. You got a lot. You got 100K in AVAX at that point and the price is dropping. I give you permission to panic. But if you look across the board at your portfolio, what it's worth, if your thesis is still valid, if you bought Ethereum because of RWAs, that thesis is still valid. If you bought Bitcoin because it's digital gold, then that thesis is still valid. If you bought AVAX because you were bullish on gaming, that thesis is still valid. I can go on and on and on. And if that's the case, stop hyper-focusing on the price. The price is going to go up and down. You cannot do anything about it. It's going to happen. Relax, calm down. If you're panicking, step away from the chart, step away from the computer, not from sensitive crypto, and go do something you enjoy doing, man, and then come back tomorrow and check in. If it's still the same, do it again, and then come back tomorrow, watch sensitive crypto, then leave the computer, and then check in again. Stop panicking. The time to sell is not when things are going down. The time to sell is when things are going up and everyone is euphoric. Don't be that guy that sold your bag at a loss in a project that you know is going to do well. Deep in your heart, you know that project is going to do well, but you decided to capitulate anyways, and someone else is going to make a lot of money off your bag. Don't be that guy. Have a great Sunday, guys. I love you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Morning live show, 10:30 a.m.